everyone may be seated. Good afternoon to everyone, to my colleagues in the Senate, to our guests, the media, and to the Sergeant at Arms. Before we begin with the proceedings, I would like for everyone to note, especially the senators present, that the Secretary for National Defense, Secretary George Valera, has indicated that he wishes to attend the session at 8 p.m. Once again, he'll be attending the session at 8 p.m. and he will also be proxied by General Potato. Furthermore, I have just received word from Secretary Coral Toon. He is currently, in his own words, he is with the Antarctican government and the Philippine government currently doing agreements. They are currently in a meeting at the moment. So it is most likely that the Secretary will be attending either the 8 p.m. session or will be attending late. Now then, for the order of questioning, we shall begin with Senator Jethro, Senator Alan, followed by myself. And once Senator Philo arrives, I will be passing the floor to him. All right?
Mr. President, may I put in a point of order to swear in an oath for the resource speakers? Thank you.
Yes, that is noted. That is an order. Let me set the oath really quickly. All right. We shall begin. Due to the circumstances of Secretary, anong pangalan mo? Secretary Caliber rather, if he is around. Oh dear, he disconnected. I was hoping that we would get Secretary Calibre first because it is my understanding that he is currently on mobile, so it would not be good for him to be in game for a prolonged period of time. Perhaps we can give him about 1 or 2 minutes for him to come back, and if he does not arrive, then we will proceed with General Gregory 11212.
Until such time, Mr. President, may I request that the good general be sworn in?
All right. General Gregory, General Gregory. May the Sergeant at Arms please escort General Gregory to the front. General Gregory, please raise your right arm and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, whole, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. We now call on Secretary Calibre to come to the front. as well as Secretary Coral Cartoon, to be escorted by the Sergeant at Arms. General Gregory may go back to his seat. Secretary Coral Cartoon, if you may come to the front. Secretary Domingo, please repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you. Now we shall be beginning with General Gregory. Once again, please come to the front. It is noted that Secretary Calibre has disconnected and I believe is currently experiencing internet connectivity issues. That is duly noted, and the committee will not hold it against him. All right. Once again, the questioning will begin with Senator Jethro, Senator It's Alan, followed by myself. Now then, General Gregory, if you may please approach the podium in front of you. Thank you. Now, to start things off, General Gregory, may you please give an account what exactly occurred yesterday at 12 midnight in relation to the Antarctican embassy. You may begin when you are ready. Oh, you have the option to use either Roblox, chat, or VC. It is entirely up to you, General Gregory. But before we proceed, the presence of the committee chair is recognized. I now hand the floor to him to chair the rest of the session.
Thank you, Senator Valera. General Gregory, you may begin with your statement. Yes, General, you may proceed.
General Gregory. Mr. Chairperson, may I have a point of parliamentary.
Granted, Mr. Senate President.
Could we possibly request from General Gregory body footage to be shared to the committee?
That point is in order. The committee requests the general to provide this esteemed body, the body footage as evidence log. May we also request the Secretary of Foreign Affairs to cease being a troll in this hearing, or I will cite you in contempt. Thank you. Thank you. Please proceed.
Mr. Chairperson, please take note that I have received the evidence. I will be these in the Senate Commons Discord. Thank you.
That is noted. General may proceed with the statement if there are any further statements from the general. for I apologize again for intruding. May I direct the Senate Sergeant of Arms to arrest Secretary Coral Cartoon? I am citing him for contempt. Sir.
Um,
Thank you, General Gregory. Yes, Senator Valera. All right. Thank you, General. Shall we proceed with the questions to be asked by our, or should the members of this body rather would like to hear all statements prior to questioning?
I would prefer questioning Mr. Chairperson.
What was that again, Senator? I
Oh,
did not
hello.
catch it.
Yes. Perhaps, Mr. Chairperson, it would be best that the motion. I shall put forth a motion to begin questioning this witness immediately.
Sure. That is in order. Proceed. Before we proceed to the questioning, I would like the Senate Sergeant of Arms to forward to the Philippine National Police the warrant of arrest for Secretary Domingo de Valera for contempt of this esteemed body. Thank you for that. We shall proceed with the questions. Senator Olang.
Hello,
All right,
hello.
sir.
I have a question for PNP Chief Gregory. Uh, there were reports that the PNP and the armed forces stormed the embassy. Uh, is that true? Hello. All right. Uh, that is all of my that is my question for now. Salamat po.
Senator Olang. Senator Jethro Valera, you may now take the floor.
Hello po. Hello po, naririnig po ba?
Senator, you are volunteer.
Okay po. Now, first of all po, no, before I start, good afternoon po to you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon to our esteemed colleagues and to the secretaries that are here right now po. And to you po, Chief or General Gregory. Before I start my questioning, I think most of us are aware po, no, that I am also a part of the Philippine National Police. And so it breaks my heart, no, seeing that our police forces are being laughed and berated because of this incident. So ito nga po, kakabasa ko lang po nitong Manila Bulletin editorial na putok daw po ng putok ang PNP. No, may I just remind everybody po na sana po wag po sana natin gawing guilty agad ang PNP, no, dahil ginagawa po natin itong hearing na ito is para naman po marinig po natin ang side ng lahat po ng mga panig, no, dito po sa nangyaring incident na ito. And wag po naman sana nating kalimutan na marami naman pong nagawang mabuti ang PNP para po sa ating community. And I think naman po hindi naman po sana dapat mabura yon dahil po sa insidenteng. Okay po, I see. Now, was there a communication between the leadership po of the Philippine National Police and the police officers that are on the embassy or nandun po sa tapat ng embassy nung nangyari po iyon? Nagkaroon po ba kaagad ng communication? At naisabi po ba kaagad kung ano po ba dapat ang gagawin ng ating mga police officers? Okay po, communication was made on the spot. So yun po muna yung mga tanong ko po, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. Thank you din po to the General. Thank you po.
Thank you, Senator Jethro. I would like to take note on the comment of Senator Jethro that we are not here to condemn the national police, but to understand if there are any lapses in the operational guidelines that were set. The few people on the ground which may or may have not have violated any any treaties or so or such are not the fault of the entire national police. That is quite noted, and that the good general here is here to face us so that he could explain in behalf of his men as part of command responsibility. Thank you for that point of order, Senator Jethro. We shall now proceed to Senator Alejandro Valera.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Once again, I would like to echo the word that we are not here to condemn the Philippine National Police. On the contrary, we all of us here, we admire the bravery of our police force. Regardless of the situation, although we do not know fully what happened, we are all confident in the fact that the Philippine National Police acted in a brave manner. Okay? They were fulfilling their duty. Our role here today is to determine kung may lapse sa ating mga guidelines, kung may lapse sa batas. Okay? We are not here to force guilt. We are not here to force guilt because that is the job of the courts. And we are not a court. We are Congress. We make laws and we review them. Now then, General Gregory, if you could please answer me this. So as we have previously established, there was an intrusion by officers. Is that correct? Yes. Would you happen to recall? Now you mentioned about there were 5 officers on the. So was it all 5 of them who entered the embassy, or was it a different number? And may we name this person? I see. Now, if you have read the Treaty of McMurdo, in Section 2, Subpoint 5, it clearly states here. I will read it verbatim. The premises of the embassy shall be inviolable. Entrance of any representative of the state of Antarctica to the embassy and its surrounding land shall not be allowed unless authorized by residing ambassador or the government of the Philippines. And then the next section says naman, diplomats and personnel of the Republic of the Philippines are bound by the following provisions. They have the right to free movement, diplomatic immunity, residence in Antarctica, etc. Okay? Sandali. Ito pala, sorry. Section 2. Section 2, point 2, rather. My apologies. Again, it says here, entrance of any representative of the Philippines to the embassy surrounding land shall not be allowed unless authorized by the residing ambassador or the government of Antarctica. General Gregory, are you aware if this police corporal was ever given permission by the ambassador or by the government of Antarctica to enter? I see. Because based on the reports given to us by the Antarctica government, it seems that it was not within, there was no permission given. Because if there was permission given, you would not be having this hearing. There would be no issue. Okay. Mr. Gregory, General Gregory rather, we have to establish muna the rules and conventions regarding embassies in international relations. The embassies are extensions of the land and the sovereignty of other nations. So the embassy, halimbawa, of Antarctica in the Philippines is not Philippine property. It is a property of Antarctica. Okay, it's a property of the Antarctican government. And so all people who enter into it are no longer in the jurisdiction of the Philippines. They're no longer under our jurisdiction, under the law. They are not all personnel who are inside the embassies are under the laws, under the protection, under the authority of the government that owns the embassy. Okay? And so, who was this person again? Si Ryan something, diba? As you have reported, he sought refuge in the embassy. Am I correct? So yes, he sought ano? He sought refuge, and that is his right. And none of us, no one from the Philippine government is allowed to touch him within the assembly, even though he is an established criminal. Okay, because again, it is not within our jurisdiction. General Gregory, um, were your officers ever educated on this Convention of International Relations? Embassy, when we can assume that they are knowledgeable or of the conventions surrounding foreign relations. What was his reasoning for entering without permission?
Mr. Senator and General, if I may I may bring up a point of parliamentary inquiry.
Of course, Mr. Chairman.
Right. So we have been informed. There's this screenshot. It's not a screenshot, but the Secretary of National Defense, in his portfolio that he has given to us regarding this matter, was pertaining that the corporal, police corporal Ukraine, I am Ukraine Gaming. Okay, uh, if I may inquire, if it is indeed there is a law that was cited by the officer, and that law is a Supreme Court decision. It is not municipal law, which disqualifies American contractors in Angeles, Pampanga from diplomatic immunity for unpaid taxes. So I do not know. It was the basis, according to the Secretary of National Defense, that it was the basis of the entry of the forced entry of the police officers headed by Police Corporal Ukraine Gaming. If this is true, or if there are any truth to this matter, there might have been lapses in the training when it comes to local municipal laws and international relations with the police. Thank you, Mr. Senator, and the general may continue to answer. Yes, Mr. General, sir. My point of inquiry, sir, is if it is taught that a certain law in the Philippines, if it is taught in the PNP training, that a certain law in the Philippines allows for the national police or any uniformed service to storm uh, foreign embassies, because as Police Corporal Ukraine Gaming was saying in a screenshot and in an explanation to the Secretary of National Defense, that they are using a doctrine, a Supreme Court ruling a Supreme Court ruling from 1969 that that which is a decision from the Supreme Court that the contractors of American bases in Angeles, Pampanga, are not exempted from paying taxes and may be arrested without diplomatic immunity. It was the one that was being used according to Ukraine Gaming, but it is not. It does not make sense. So I am only asking if it this is what really is being taught in the National Police. Uh, the general has an answer, or if he's still typing, thank you. Thank you for that. Senator Valera, you have the floor again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. I have one final Gregory. Now I want to give some more context again. Um, so on the conventions on diplomatic immunity, once again, a diplomat, okay, who is cannot be prosecuted, okay, they are immune from criminal jurisdiction of the receiving state, from and also from civil and administrative jurisdiction, okay, because again the concept is the diplomat is residing within the territory of the host country, okay. Now we suspect, diba, na there was supposedly because we are not sure, that there was an Antarctican sort of personnel who was shooting at the PNP. Am I correct? Yeah. Yes. But then once again, we were not able to ID the person, so we are not entirely sure. Okay. So regardless, though, General Gregory, it seems that well, at least to my understanding, perhaps the courts can correct me. Um, that personnel still would not have been able to be prosecuted by us. Okay, and I think that is this complexity with the law, especially with international law. I think is something that ought to be taught more rigorously to our officers. Okay, it is very important that all of us, all of our officers, have very good, especially during these very vague instances, diba? Kasi our jurisprudence here in PHL, it goes that if the existing law in PHL is unclear, then we refer to the real law. Okay, and if the real law is also not clear, then we can refer to legal maxims, to prudence. Okay, so that is something that we should really teach to our officers more rigorously to prevent the situation from happening. Okay, I yield my time, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you, Senator Valera. Uh, is there, Sir General Gregory, sir? We appreciate your time. If there are any other questions that would have risen from the previous questioning from the other members of this body, I am inviting my senators, my fellow colleagues, if there are. If there are none, we can. To this instance, I am very proud of the National Police of their conduct. They showed bravery amidst being fired upon. However, there are circumstances in law that we must follow, and that we are doing this so that nothing such as this incident can again. Sana hindi na uli mangyari itong ganitong pangyayari sa atin, sa ating bansa, sa ating pambansang pulisya, dahil alam natin na kapag nagkakaroon ng ganito, nakakatama ito sa ating moral ng ating mga kapwa, ng ating mga kapulisan. Um, for this, we would like to thank General Gregory for his time, for giving us his time this afternoon. I know that he is a very busy person, and the past few days have been very crazy for him, and the past few hours have been a very stressful moment for the National Police. And I thank them for coming here. In order to answer our queries, in order for us senators to formulate laws that would benefit both the DFA, our foreign partners, and the national police when it comes to these things. Final point of inquiry, General Sir, are foreign are the security officers of foreign embassies allowed to bring have guns in Metro Manila? Is there any restriction or anything in that manner that does not allow them to have weapons? Kasi with what I'm seeing here, it would be upon the discretion of all right. Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, General, sir. Uh, Mr. Senate President, if you have a motion to release Senator General Gregory from our chambers.
Yes, I motion that General Gregory. Hello.
All right, sir.
Yes.
Please repeat that.
Hello. Yes, I would like to motion to the floor that from the Senate floor.
Is there any Are there any objections to that from our esteemed colleagues? Hearing none, the motion is carried. General Gregory 11212 is now released from Senate inquiry. Thank you, General. One-minute recess is being called. Nawala si Sergeant at Arms. May we ask the presence over here of our Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Secretary Domingo de Valera, Coral Cartoon 587, to please proceed to the center of the floor. Secretary, if you may now start with your opening statement. The Secretary has conceded his time for the opening statement. May we request our fellow senators in the same order, however, without Senator. Okay, Senator Alan is back. Senator, are you ready to ask your questions to the esteemed Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Senator Alan? If Senator Alan is still unprepared, may we proceed to Senator Jethro Valera, sir?
Okay. So, good evening, Secretary, Mr. Secretary. First of all po, no, Secretary, I just like to know, no, when are you when this situation unfolded? Ah, okay, pero nalaman niyo po ba kaagad itong incident na ito right after that this incident occurred? Okay po. So, what's your reaction naman po, Secretary? Or what are your first actions, no? Or right after that nagising ka po? Yes, we are all shocked, no, Mr. Secretary. Pero po, yung ano po yung ginawa ng inyong agency or ng DFA po right after this, ano, pagkatapos po nitong ano, pangyayari? I see. Then, may orders po ba ang Pangulo or ang Presidente po sa inyo? Wala po. Okay. So, as our Foreign Secretary, nag-usap na, well, kanina po as we all know naman po, sinabi niya rin po na nag-usap na daw po kayo ng mga ng mga officials from the Antarctica. So, pwede niyo po bang sabihin sa amin kung ano po ang inyong napag-usapan or is it confidential pa po as of this moment? What are the agreements po? Okay po. No problem.
Senator Jethro, I would like to take a note of the situation and of the comments of Secretary Valera before he continues with the explanation regarding the updated guidelines and updated Treaty of McMurdo. Uh, it is quite questionable that during the time that the president was there in Metro Manila and he had not given any orders to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. It's quite baffling for my mind that the president did not act. The first the first instance was to surround the embassy and not to contact Secretary of the Foreign Affairs. If Secretary de Valera is saying his mind, is speaking his mind, and is speaking the facts, and we believe what he is saying, the president did not really care about the situation that was happening. Antarctica threatened to declare war. Mexico, Antarctica, countries are condemning the Philippines in the international stage, and the president did not mind at all to speak to his secretary. That is something uh, I cannot even fathom. This the lack of action that happened. I know and I understand that the Secretary of Foreign Affairs is working alone, but hasn't the president appointed someone to help him out? Yield again my time to to the senator, and we shall read again the transmissions from Secretary de Valera.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So that's the order of the President po, Mr. Secretary. So, bakit po kaya kailangan pa po natin ng mediator? Why not po Government of Philippines to Government of Antarctica? Tayo na po yung mag-usap-usap. Isn't that possible po? Kasi po, nabasa ko din po yung sa nirelease ng Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the State of Antarctica that the government of the Philippines is not willing to discuss daw po with the state of with the Philippines, with our government. We are not willing daw po to discuss with them. Is that true, Mr. Secretary? Kaya po ngayon humihingi na po ng tulong na let me repeat no, Mr. Secretary, we are not ready no, or we are not ready daw po to discuss no this incident with the state of Antarctica peacefully. Kaya nga po ngayon ang state of Antarctica, they are now gathering some of their allies to condemn us in maybe the United Nations. Ano po, Mr. Secretary, hindi daw po ba talaga tayo willing na makipag-usap sa Antarctica? Nandoon po sa ano nila, sa nilabas po na document ng Ministry of Foreign Affairs ng Antarctica po, Mr. Secretary. Sa pinakadulo po ng document. Or hindi nyo pa po siguro nabasa yon, Mr. Secretary? You already checked it. So pinapabulaanan nyo po yung sinabi po pinapabulaanan nyo po yung statement po nung State of Antarctica that we are not ready to talk with Okay po, Mr. Secretary. So, as Foreign Affairs Secretary and as a diplomat po, no, Mr. Secretary, what are your insights, no, for the on this incident? I'd like to know your insight, no, for this. About po sa nangyari po ngayon na shooting dito po sa embassy po. What is your opinion po for that matter? Ulitin ko po, Mr. Secretary, what are your insights po, no, on the incident? Ano po ang opinion niyo po? Sa tingin niyo po ba tama ang ginawa ng PNP? Mali? Kayo po? That was wrong. So you advise naman po ba the President that, Mr. President, what we did was wrong. We need to, kailangan po natin magpakumbaba. In-advise niyo po ba yung President? Kasi syempre, you are the Secretary of Foreign Affairs and you're the alter ego. In-advise niyo po ba? Okay, Mr. Secretary. Now, um, our morale here is decreasing, no, as we are currently witnessing the catastrophic downfall of the image of our country to the world. Our friends became our foes, and we have made a regional conflict. What is the plan of DFA to restore, no, the image of our country to the international community? So for now, there is none, Mr. Secretary. Well, medyo nanlumo lang po ako dyan, no? But that's your answer. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. And thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator, for holding your time. Um, if I may make another point, we have not reached out to the ASEAN, while the ASEAN, while Antarctica already reached out towards the ASEAN. So I do not know what the plan is or what the president's going to, what the president's doing or whatever he's planning to do. He's just going to let us go and become irrelevant into oblivion. Uh, this is just uh, this is this is just mind blowing for me, and I think it's also mind blowing for our colleagues here, uh, especially to Senator Alejandro because he was a DFA secretary for some time. Uh, Senator Alan, you have a question?
The moment that they, no, not that. It should have been that the moment that the PNP supposedly, or rather that the PNP apprehended a supposedly Antarctican official, that should have been a red flag kaagad. The president and you, Mr. Domingo, you should you were caught shocked when you woke up. Of course, shock is something very normal. Pero you would have expected a higher standard from you and from the president, who, by the way, was on the scene. The president himself was present. Nandun siya nung nangyari ang insidente. So, why did he not do anything? Mr. Secretary Domingo, were you ever privy to why he did not act? Why he did not inform you kaagad? Why he did not do anything during that moment? Are you aware of anything of what was going through his head? Were there any discussions within cabinet as to next? And could you please reveal to the committee what exactly this conversation entailed? Okay. And what was discussed? And what was the plan? Situation escalated, diba? It reached the point where currently right now, we are on the brink of war with Antarctica. The sovereign was killed. Namatay yung pare. The king was killed by our own men. That is an insult of the highest degree in diplomacy. And what made it worse was that it was public. Everyone knew about it na kaagad. So then, now, in the UN, in ASEAN, we are being isolated, which is something that no previous administration ever wanted to do. It seems to me, Secretary, that we are regressing back into obscurity. Okay? So, I want to point out something that my colleague, Senator Jethro, said. We have support, yes, but it's not enough. We are clearly in the wrong, Secretary Domingo. Something happened. If you would, Mr. Chairperson, if you may allow me to curse slightly.
That is in order.
We fucked up. Okay? Secretary Domingo, we fucked up. That is the reality of the situation. And I think I would like now to move on to my question. Why is it that we have not yet released any statement? Or have you not released a statement about the matter? A formal statement and not an interview. Bakit po? From you or from the president? Bakit wala?
Point of order, Senator Valera, if I may interrupt. Point of order, Mr. Secretary. The support that we are getting in the United Nations is not support per se, because even our closest allies are asking to be neutral in this issue. Being neutral regarding this issue and urging us to go to the table and talk it out with the Antarctican government is not as a sign of support. Rather, it is a sign of regression. They are already distancing themselves from us. So I do not know where on earth support is coming from. Malaysia is seeking for. I have been informed, and since I'm still at the ASEAN leaders chat, that Malaysia is seeking for an explanation already from our government, because the side of Antarctica seems to be getting to them already. The president is there in that chat and he's not talking. I'm I am yet to see a message to the United Nations and to the ASEAN. There are none. We are losing allies by the second and by the hour. The next thing, we are a pariah in this world. Let it be shown on record that I am flustered with the answers given to us by the Department of Foreign Affairs, and that we are, I think I could speak in behalf of all my senator colleagues here, that we are unsatisfied with the answers. Uh, Secretary De Valera is currently cited in contempt. I am asking my colleagues if there are any motions to release him or to continue the citation for contempt so that we could forward to the Philippine National Police and that he could be detained wherever he enters Metro Manila. Are there any motions? The motion is to release Secretary De Valera. Are there any objections? Hearing none, he is hereby released from our custody. Thank you, Secretary. Are there any motion to adjourn until
Yes, I motion to adjourn the session for us to continue with the investigation of the ILG and the DND.
are there any objections to that motion? Hearing none, the session is hereby suspended until 8 o'clock in the evening.